Welcome back to Sport World, your home of sports news. Let's get right into it. Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca has played down suggestions that he has settled on different starting lineups for different competitions. Having earned a spot in this season's Europa Conference League, the Blues find themselves with a far more hectic schedule than they experienced in 2023-24. As a result, as many as 28 different players have been used in their opening 9 matches of the season, with only Reece James, Omari Kellyman and David Washington yet to be used. Maresca has generally been managing the run of matches by heavily rotating his team should Chelsea have a midweek fixture. Mass alterations were made for the 2 fixtures with Servette in the Europa Conference League playoff and the EFL Cup tie with Barrow last week. Nevertheless, Maresca has dismissed the perception that he will continue to specifically use a different set of players for various cup games. Speaking to reporters, the Italian said, "We try to share minutes with all of them. In this moment, it looks like we have players playing in the Premier League and in the Cup, but it is not like this. In this moment it is like this, but in general it won't be like this. We try to give them the opportunity." Against Barrow, they all did a very good game and hopefully tomorrow we can do the same. Despite starting the first Premier League game of the season, Christopher Nkunku remains with just 118 minutes to his name in the Premier League. João Felix has accumulated just 109 minutes across 4 substitute outings, while Mykhailo Mudryk has just the 81 minutes. Midfielder Kieran Dewsbury Hall did not make the squad for Saturday's game with Brighton and Hove Albion and has just 44 minutes of top-flight football in 2024-25. After a win in the Premier League and Arne Slot's Reds ended match week 6 top of the table, Liverpool are back in midweek European action as Bologna visit Anfield for what will be the new manager's first Champions League home game at the club, having won their first Champions League match 3-1 over AC Milan on the road. A win in Game 2 of the new-look league phase would see the Reds well-positioned heading into a very busy October and November that will test his side's quality and depth. "One of the reasons we can compete is because we have a lot of quality and I also see a lot of team cohesion in the team," Slot noted ahead of the match. "But I also see things we have to improve if we want to stay where we are with the fixture list coming up. Every fixture is difficult, so we have to do things better, but one of the reasons why we can stay up there is we have a lot of players with a lot of individual quality, and also we have a lot of players that can help us every time we need a player that he shows up." Last week's midweek tie was in the League Cup and saw a wholly changed side dispatch West Ham comfortably. The changes against Bologna likely won't be quite as wholesale, but there will be at least a few different faces from Wolves on the weekend. "It's hard because they train hard and work really hard and are really involved in the team process," Slot added when asked about his players who haven't seen as many minutes as they might have liked yet, and the chance for changes against Bologna. "That makes it hard then sometimes to make the decision to say, okay, I choose these 11 and not the other ones, because they had quality. If they didn't have quality they would not play here. So if they work really hard they make my life difficult." Barcelona have signed Wojciech Szczesny as a free agent after the goalkeeper reversed his decision of 5 weeks ago to retire and came to the team's aid after they lost Marc-Andre Ter Stegen to a long-term injury. Ter Stegen underwent surgery after sustaining a rupture of the patella tendon in his right knee last month and is expected to miss the rest of the season. Inaki Pina, 25, is expected to cover for Ter Stegen, but Barca have reinforced their squad with Szczesny, who announced his retirement after terminating his contract with Juventus. When Szczesny retired he posted on Instagram, "Today, although my body still feels ready for challenges, my heart is not there anymore. I feel that right now it is time to give all of my attention to my family." The 34-year-old former Poland international had 1 year left on his deal at the Serie A club, where he had replaced the Italy great Gianluigi Buffon. He has joined Barcelona on a deal until the 30th of June, and speaking to the club media today after completing his signing, Szczesny revealed that it was his compatriot and Barcelona superstar Robert Lewandowski who made the transfer possible. "Lewandowski was the first person to call me, asking me the possibility of this happening," revealed the Catalan's latest recruit. "At first I wasn't ready for new challenges, but I spoke to my family and friends, and they all told me it would be a mistake not to accept this. That's why Robert played a very important role because he was the person who had the idea to convince me," he added. On signing for Barcelona, the former Arsenal and Juventus goalkeeper remarked, "It's a proud moment. I was honestly prepared for retirement. I was happy in that situation, but being here these first 2 days in the city and seeing how people have treated me and how important it is to them has made me feel proud and part of this exciting family. Although it's a great institution and a great football club, I felt the feeling of family. Family is very important to me and now I've extended it a little." It has been suggested that Szczesny could take a few weeks to be ready to play for Barcelona, having not been in action for a while now, but the Polish veteran insisted that he was ready and raring to go, saying, "This challenge is exciting for me. I face it with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. I'm ready to work hard and take on the challenges that come this season." Manchester United handed new double injury boost for Erik ten Hag clashes. Manchester United have been significantly boosted on the injury front ahead of a crucial fixture doubleheader against Porto and Aston Villa this week. The struggling Red Devils faced a tough away trips in the coming days that could prove pivotal to the Old Trafford future of under-fire manager Erik ten Hag, who has once again been placed under significant pressure after a disappointing start to the season, continued with Sunday's woeful 3-0 home defeat by Tottenham in the Premier League. First up on Thursday evening is one of United's most high-profile fixtures of the new-look Europa League phase as they travel to take on Portuguese giants Porto at the Estádio do Dragão, with Ten Hag surely needing a positive result after a hugely underwhelming opening home draw with former club FC Twente last month. The Dutchman has been handed some positive team news ahead of that game, with Kobbie Mainoo training as normal with the rest of the squad before the flight to Portugal on Wednesday. The England midfielder had appeared a doubt for the game after limping off and straight down the tunnel just before halftime against Spurs. A quick-fire double midfield blow for United after captain Bruno Fernandes had been controversially sent off for a challenge on James Maddison. That red card and suspension subsequently overturned on appeal, making him available to face Villa and for the games against Brentford and West Ham later this month. Ten Hag admitted after the Tottenham defeat that it was a concern to see Mainoo go off so early, but there were few other details, and he appears to have avoided any lingering injury. The 19-year-old's replacement on Sunday, Mason Mount, only returned from a calf injury days earlier against Twente, but was also forced off himself late on after blood poured from a wound sustained during an accidental clash of heads with Spurs centre-back Radu Dragusin. While Mount has not trained ahead of the clash with Porto and looks set to miss out, United confirmed that the former Chelsea midfielder had avoided a concussion, meaning he shouldn't be sidelined for long. One player joining Mainoo in contention for that latest Europa League assignment is Harry Maguire, who was absent from the matchday squad entirely against Tottenham with a knock sustained in training, but he was back on the grass at Carrington on Wednesday and should be available to face Porto, with defensive colleague Victor Lindelof also back involved after returning to the bench at the weekend after a foot issue. Ten Hag said last week that he hopes Luke Shaw will return from his latest injury after the upcoming international break, having not played for United since February, while fellow left-back Tyrell Malacia is still steadily working his way back to fitness after missing all of last season. Lenny Euro, United's £58.9 million summer signing from Lille, has also yet to play this term as he recovers from surgery on his own foot injury. That would be all for now. Like, drop a comment, subscribe and turn on the notification icon to stay up to date with new content. Thanks.